Baby girl was draped in Chanel, said she loved Tupac but hates some LL. Seen her at the bar with anklets and toe rings. She could take a prince, turn him into a king. I was looking at her in the limelight, pearly white. Said a man get paper but he don't live right.
Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video we got a special guest rider from out of town. He made the long drive down from Billings, Montana. His name's Tim Mann. He's a fellow YouTuber as well, and his Wake Mann channel puts out a lot of great content. And if you haven't seen it, I'll put the link in the description below. Please go give it a look and subscribe to his channel because he puts out a lot of great content. But anyway, Tim reached out to me a few weeks back because his local riding spot in Montana became basically unrideable. He couldn't even get out to his spot because the water levels were super low. So he reached out to me and asked if, you know, I would host him if he was willing to make the long drive down. And I said, absolutely. So he decided to make a family trip out of it with his wife and 2 daughters. And they just arrived into town. And we're going to try and get out tomorrow morning with my Thursday morning crew. Mother Nature's playing a cruel joke on us because all year we basically have gotten no rain, and then all of a sudden tomorrow it's calling for like 60 to 75% chance of thunderstorms. So crossing my fingers that we're going to have a few hours in the morning to kind of beat the storm system and be able to at least get one set in with the crew. And he, you know, Tim will get to enjoy being on the water and meeting some new riders in the Intermountain area. So, but anyway, we're hoping that, again, we're going to get some good content. Maybe we're even going to get out on Saturday as well. Like I said, normally I don't ride on Saturdays because it just, you know, it's not worth it with how crowded it gets. But maybe the weather will scare some people away. This is one of my few Saturdays that I have off, and since Tim is in town, I wanted to give him a couple of opportunities if possible, especially if we get skunked tomorrow and don't even get to ride, or if the conditions aren't great. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the footage in this video of Tim joining my Wake Empire crew here in northern Utah out on Willard Bay, and we'll roll on the clips now. Aloha.
Smooth.
He stepped into the street and walked up to this girl. He had a cap tooth made of gold. He had an earring in his nose and dreadlocks that at night he liked to twirl. And he says, I love the way you look at me, I love your smile. Why don't you come and talk to me just for a while? Give me your love, oh give me your love. Why don't you come and talk to me? And we can move it like this. And now the hours go by fast and memories come from the past as he tells the girl the story of his life. You see, a long time ago love a let her go, and if he had the chance again, she'd be his wife. And he sings to her nightly, he says, Lydia, oh Lydia, I wish I didn't get rid of ya. Lydia, I miss your rose tattoo. There's some things I can't forget. Oh honey, why did I diss ya? Learn a lot from Lydia. I gotta move it like this. the sea. Ay, 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 ay. Make sweet love to me. Give me all those things I miss. But start it off with a kiss and move a little something like this. And now you move it like this. Start it off with the kiss and move a little something like this. And now you move it like this. Start it off with the kiss and now you move it like bum de bum de bum bum de le 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 bum de bum de bum de le 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 bum de bum de bum bum de le 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 bum de bum de bum de le 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 bum de bum de bum bum le 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 bum de bum de bum de le 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 bum de bum de bum 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 de bum de bum bum de le 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 bum. Hey, hey.
We're now it's Saturday. It's a couple of days after I shot the intro, and fortunately on Thursday we were still able to get out. We did get skunked in the morning, thunderstorms all morning through the afternoon, and the forecast just kept getting pushed later and later. But eventually we got out on the water about 4:30, and we were able to get everybody got at least one set in. Tim got robbed on the first set. The wind was only supposed to be 6 miles an hour out of the south-southwest, and it ended up being completely opposite and white capping when we launched the boat. And so it was coming out of the northeast at probably a steady 20 to 25 miles an hour. But he was a trooper and got out there for the first set, but really struggled. And then when the water settled down, he was able to get a second set in and start to ride better. And then, today, this morning, we got out super early on a Saturday morning, met at 6:30 before he gets on the road with his family to head back to Billings, Montana. But we were able to get some decent water. It's a Saturday. I normally, like I said before in my previous videos, that I normally don't go out on Saturday, but number one, it's my one Saturday off I get every few weeks, and Tim's in town, so we obviously wanted to make the most of it. And everyone got a pretty decent set until I got to me, and then it was pretty rolly by then, but I tried to make the most of it. And Tim got out there for a second set, but by then the water was trash, so we called it after a couple of wake jumps. And now we're just heading back to the boat storage unit, and I'm gonna do some questions with Tim, and hopefully you guys again will tune into his YouTube channel and subscribe, because again he puts out a lot of good content. So with that said, I'm gonna talk a little bit, or ask Tim some questions, and if you have any follow-up questions, please put them in the comments below. All right, so Tim, how did you get first introduced into wakeboarding being in Billings, Montana?
All right, so I think, you know, back when I was young, in the I would say it must have been late 90s, early 2000s, you know, that's when wakeboarding was in the X Games.
Okay.
I always thought it looked super cool, you know, and I've always loved water sports in general, you know, whether it's even the basics like jet skiing. I know nobody likes jet skiing these days, but at least wakeboarders don't. But I just loved water sports, like just being on the water, and I just thought wakeboarding looked super cool. So I always wanted to try to do it, but my parents never had a boat, you know, we never really went out and did that stuff. My dad never even learned how to swim. Anyways, when I got to where I could afford to get a boat, that's what I wanted to do. So I just started trying to wakeboard, and it was behind a sea ray at that time. But I quickly learned that I wanted to have some more control with the speed, and also just a much better wake. So then I started looking at wake boats. So that's what got me into it.
All right, that's awesome, man. Like right from the beginning, when in the infancy stages of probably the golden years actually of wakeboarding when you started. So I've been watching your channel for a good number of years now, and I know like you've gone through different boats over the years. I think I believe, like you said, you start off with a Sea Ray and then moved to Malibu,
yep.
And now you're on your third Nautique G23. what's the hardest thing about, what's the good and the bad about wakeboarding in your area of Montana?
All right, yeah, so Montana's tough. For a long time, I have been, trying to progress, and I've been able to do it to a certain extent on my own, but trying to find riders to go with me and help motivate me and just be able to vibe with is definitely the hardest thing. I've had a few riders over the years, but nothing close to your crew, which is what I'm jealous of. So yeah, that's definitely the hardest thing. I love the lake that I go to. I get it to myself. This my spot. I get it to myself, and it's glass like 80% of the time. I get it to myself until about noon on a Saturday and a Sunday. So like I love that spot, but also lately, they let that lake fluctuate by like 30 feet every year. So like lately, it's been lower than I like. So those are probably the hardest things about where I ride, and just being in Montana.
All right, yeah, definitely. I'm lucky here in Utah where we have a healthy wakeboard community. It does take a lot of work to keep the riders in touch, and we're fortunate that places like Idaho Water Sports still runs the Wake and the Snake wakeboard tournament every July. We're hoping in the next couple of years to get the wakeboard tournaments here in the Salt Lake City area up and running again, or at least one contest a year through Marine Products, our local pro shop, and one of my sponsors here in Utah. This is your first trip to Utah for a wakeboarding trip. How would you say your experience was?
I gotta start by saying I'm totally honored by even getting the invite from Ryan. He sent the invite probably some time ago, because we've both been commenting on each other's YouTube channels for a while. So I came down here to Utah my first time. I just wanted to take the opportunity because my lake is low and I was kind of over just being in the bay there. And I gotta say, it was great. I mean, probably the best thing about it is just being able to watch your crew ride, you and your crew ride, and just be around people that like are all about it, all serious about it. I like your lake too. I think it's very cool that you can just go over to a wall. I mean, when we went out on Thursday, it was like pretty windy. It was whitecapping when we first get out to the water. We was able to go over to the wall, and even though my first set was not great because it was chopped up, it settled down. So I think it's actually a pretty dang good lake for wakeboarding. I think the only thing, like you talked about it, is it gets too busy on the weekends. But yeah, so I've had a lot of fun. I think your setup is awesome, and I'm certainly jealous of a few things there. So it's been an awesome time. So thanks for having me.
Well, that's awesome, man. It's been a pleasure having you. I'm glad we got a couple of days out on the water. I'm happy you got to stop by Marine Products yesterday. You got your daughter, Wakely, a new vest during our demo sale. And I hope we can do it again and I get to come up to your spot. It definitely, you look like you have a wakeboarder's dream when the water levels are high and you can hit your spot. So definitely gonna make it a priority to get up there one of these days. So maybe I can road trip with my wife and the boys, and yeah, I get to check out your shop and all that, because man, talk about dedication. You bought that property, you built your workshop and your setup just so that you could have the boat and truck there to be able to get on the water. So kudos to you for your dedication, and again, hopefully I can experience it in person one of these days. So thanks for coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would love for you to come to my spot. Really want to show it to you, but yeah, even if I can get out with you down here every once in a while, that'd be awesome. But I definitely want you to come up and see my place and see the spot. So yeah, if you can make it happen, let's do it. But yeah, thanks again for having me out. I loved it, and I would like to do it again soon in the future. So.
All right, you guys, so that'll be it for the collab with Tim Mann, aka Wake Mann. Again, I'm gonna post a link to his YouTube channel in the description below, so please head on over and give it a like. And if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe on my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks to him also for the new Wake Mann lid. I really appreciate it. It fits really nice, and hopefully we can do another collab video in the future, but this time me going up to his spot in Montana and riding his G23. All right, but until then, hope you guys are having a second great half of the summer, and keep on riding. Aloha.